welcome to my kitchen. So I'm Be Kassapian, and for those of you who joined for the first time, I specialise in paleo keto cooking for health and life. And I also have some amazing online courses where you can learn to cook, learn amazing things, particularly if you're a teenager doing your DB cooking skills, because I absolutely love teaching teenagers. But also there are courses for gluten and dairy-free cooking, and I have so much to expand in that department. You can also work with me one-to-one on my Paleo Keto, Be in the Kitchen reset, and I can come to your kitchen live. So lots of things going on, and welcome to my Paleo Keto Party live on Saturday morning. So here, I'm just here in my kitchen, and I tidy it around, and I come to you with whatever is uppermost on my mind that is going to be useful for me and hopefully useful for you to really get to grips with a paleo keto lifestyle. So that's what today is about. And today I think I was muttering during the week on my social media that actually I could feel mayonnaise coming along. And it still remains that way. I was out last night with really good friends at a gorgeous celebrated birthday party and the first barbecue of the season. And my friend Ruth said, "What are you going to do tomorrow morning?" And I was like, "I'm not decided yet." And she looked at me strangely, and actually that was a slight lie, because I did have mayonnaise in the back of my mind. But I always come down on a Saturday morning and think, what's the weather like? What do I feel like? What's in the fridge? What's in the garden? And definitely this morning when I looked at the chives in the garden, I was like, no, it's got to be mayonnaise, because hot velvet homemade mayonnaise is so delicious. I teach this to my students on my starting off course. Anybody can buy this course, but so I teach it to teenagers because I want them to know what is in mayonnaise. And look, I'm just like you all. I have, dare I say it, a jar of Hellmann's mayonnaise in the fridge because it is a very good product. And actually, it's got rapeseed oil, water, spirit vinegar, sugar, salt, flavourings, lemon juice. It's really quite straightforward on what it's got in it. But the thing is, even though I'm brilliant at making mayonnaise, dare I say it myself, it's a little bit tricky to begin with, and then when you make it, you can make it, and you can make it brilliantly. So you'll all be able to make it brilliantly by the end of this. But even though I know how to do it, we still put this in a regular shop. Why do we do that? Because we shouldn't be, because it's so easy to make. So I'm going to make it. There's always lots of ways of making it, but I'm going to make it for you by hand to really show you what's going on. And when you can do it by hand, then you can do it in a machine in volumes with great speed. And the most important thing about this is that mayonnaise is pretty much made up of oil. And of course, if you buy it from a supermarket, it's going to be a low-grade oil, isn't it? Because that's what's cheap, and as long as the flavour's right, and the consistency's right, and the colour's right. So just like Hellmann's, lovely, light and creamy, and it's got a nice amount of acidity, and it's balanced and delicious, you're just going to ignore the fact that the oil is not good. So let's come back to just putting healthy fats inside you and making a delicious mayonnaise so that you can enjoy it. So let's go. Gosh, this morning, I could have stayed in bed a bit longer. I've got back to waking up at my usual kind of time, which is really nice. Okay, let's get going on mayonnaise. So in an ideal world, I say an ideal world because it's always better if you do an ideal world. You get your eggs out. You keep your eggs out overnight. Of course, I didn't do that, so these are straight from the fridge. But that is not the ideal. So for success, absolute success, make sure your eggs are room temperature. Anyway, I'm going to we'll do a couple of, we'll do a bit more than that. We'll do three egg yolks, or 3 egg whites. Now, it's not, break your eggs carefully so that you can use the egg whites, because if we're in the season of barbecues, we're also in the season of gorgeous summer pavlovas. And my first strawberry! Okay. This is what you do when you make a complete mess of it and get carried away, is you have to use your fingers to lift up the egg yolk. So you can see what I did. I just put the egg white in the wrong place. Anyway, because I've broken my eggs carefully, I can do this. So I always think it's worth taking care. Right, okay. What was I saying? I was saying we're in the summer of pavlovas. I say my first strawberry was, I think that's enough. I think that's enough for you to show you. I was going to make 4. I mean, I've got a family home this weekend and the mayonnaise is going to go quickly, so I'll probably end up making much more in a machine. But, there we go. Okay. Right, so we've got the egg yolks out the way. Next off, we need to put in some dried English mustard. Now, if you haven't got dried English mustard, you can use ordinary English mustard. All that is mustard powder with water. Again, you could use some Dijon mustard, something like that, but use a mild flavour. So what I'm making today is the basis of what we call a stock mayonnaise, which is a plain mayonnaise that you can then flavour up. So we'll start off that. I'm putting in about half a teaspoon, as you can see. I'm not being too precise. Now I'm going to put in a little bit of vinegar. You could traditionally you would use white wine vinegar, but I like apple cider vinegar for its probiotic qualities. Raw apple cider vinegar. So I'm putting in I'm actually putting about a teaspoon. I'm being quite generous here. Oh, I'm putting in a little splash more. If in doubt, put a tiny bit more in, okay? Because I think that will just help things stabilise and be easier. Next thing we want to have is a pinch of salt. Nice, decent pinch of salt. Right, now, here is a top tip. This is interesting. I'm going to come up really quite close and show you this. This whisk, can you see this shaped whisk? This is absolutely brilliant. So I'm looking at 2 cameras here. Oh. It's absolutely brilliant. I was taught this by, I was shown this by a lovely chef, and I can't remember her name, when I was teaching at Leeds School of Food and Wine. Very beautiful chef running trendy restaurants in London. And she just said, oh God, it's so easy. She said her mother-in-law had given it to her, and she was really like, And then she used it and found it was absolutely amazing. So I went straight out and I bought a non-stick version. And you know, it's as quick at making mayonnaise by hand with this, and you can really see the stages. And it's very therapeutic, so I always use this now. So I'm showing you that because your tools make all the difference. When I learnt to make mayonnaise at Leeds when I was 18, I can't remember, had I made it before then, we had to do it with a wooden spoon because they didn't want us to get air bubbles in it. And you know, sorry Leeds, that's just annoying. So this whisk would worse. This is a funny Pampered Chef balloon egg whisk, which is brilliant in its own right, first thing. But you know, I do like using whisk. I think it's easier than the good old wooden spoon. So the first job is that we're just going to mix the egg yolks with vinegar and the English mustard powder, and I'm just going to do that for a minute just because mine came straight from the fridge. You know, one of the things you can do is a little top tip is I've got, of course, my organised sink with hot soapy water in it. So I'm just putting the base of the bowl in that hot water, which just will warm up the bowl, and in turn that will warm up the egg yolks. So that will just take the chill off and get them to room temperature faster. So that's a little top tip, because this temperature thing can often be the cause of things curdling and all sorts of things culinary, particularly when you're making icings and you've got butter and cream cheese and various things going on. So that's worth making a note of. Right, so the next thing is the oil. So we want good quality oil in an ideal world. Okay, now so good quality oil, you might think, oh, okay, well, what does that mean? Oil is really quite complicated. I really do think that. So I have got here my amazing pure extra virgin cold pressed unfiltered olive oil. Now, if I make my mayonnaise with that completely, it's going to be very strong and charged. Now, I have to say, using that when you're eating lobsters is absolutely delicious. Okay, so you know, you could bear that in mind. So in very fine dining, in very fine dining it works, but I don't think you're necessarily going to be having lobsters every day. So I'm going to, you might use a little bit of that and then some other oils. I've got the sort of cooking version of that oil, and that is going to be delicious. Again, it is strong. It's that lovely green oil. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to put that in there, but I'm going to mix it with some other olive oils. Now, You can use sort of go-to is a light olive oil. So I've got a bit of that left here, a classic supermarket light olive oil, which is going to be better than your sunflower and vegetable oils, okay? Now, what else have I got here? So I've actually got a supermarket olive oil there. In my thing, I have got some camelina oil, cold pressed from Norfolk, rich in plant-based omega-3. I've never heard of camelina. I bought it at a farmer's market, but it was expensive. But you know, that's a milder oil that I can use. I also, from a long time ago, got some extra virgin cold pressed rapeseed oil. Now, rapeseed oil doesn't really actually feature in naturopathic health. The jury's out on that. So. But I guess this is as good as it gets. It's from Scotland and it's cold pressed, so you know it's going to be much better than your ordinary sunflower vegetable oil that you use for deep frying in. Okay, so this is what we're trying to get away from that oil. Those soya-based oils, which are full of I can't even remember this morning what they're full of, but anyway, it's just not good news for you. Organic avocado oil, I've had that sitting in my fridge for a long time, in my cupboard for a long time. So, do you see what I mean? I've got a collection of oils that are not ordinary vegetable sunflower soy oil, okay? Because full of trans fats, not good for us. Right, okay, so let's get going on this oil. Now, the sensible thing to do is just to have it either in a jug or in a container where you can pour it gently. So you're going to pour in about a teaspoon of oil. And this first little stage is just annoying because you can't really see what on earth is going on. All you can see is that you're mixing the oil and it's looking like creamy egg yolk. So I'm going to put another teaspoon in there. Okay, so we're going again with another whisk, and you just whisk it up until you can't, you know, it just disappears. It disappears into the egg yolk. Now I don't quite know what's going on there. It seems like my video has stopped, but hey ho. So it just mix it in, and so it's not going to show you very well. Right, if I've got a video failure, then I will use this to take photographs because that is going to be useful for you. Who knows what's going on? Right, so I'll take a photo for you there. There we go. Right, now we're just going to add another teaspoon of oil. So just this first stage, you're just going to add teaspoon of oil by teaspoon of oil. Now, I'm just adding another teaspoon, and actually what I can start to see is just that it's looking a little bit thicker and creamier. No obvious thing, but actually that's 4 teaspoons in, and suddenly I'm thinking, oh look, that actually looks a little thicker and creamier, not runny. If it stays runny, then it's probably split, and the reason is your oil has gone in too quickly and you haven't whisked enough, and that coupled with some cold egg yolks could be the start of things going wrong. Now if you see it staying runny, then that is the sign that you've got to just cut your losses, get a clean bowl, get a clean egg yolk, add a bit more vinegar and mustard, and then you use that curdled mixture just as if it was oil, and you add it teaspoon by teaspoon, okay? So panic not, because you will get it right, okay? So it's really good actually to make mistakes and get it horribly wrong, because then you know how to fix it. So I love it when I'm teaching and we have mistakes in the class, because it's so good for learning for everybody. Right, anyway, so now I've got that, so I'm now going to add a good tablespoon of oil, or the rest of that bottle. Great, I'm trying to reduce the number of bottles in my cupboard. You know, sometimes it goes awry. Right, what else do I use now? So let's use this rapeseed oil, because that has been sitting there for a while. Blimey, having a bottle opening. Do you know, menopause is really challenging for strength. You know, you lose strength so much, and that is why it's so important to eat so much protein. Okay, right, I've got the lid. I'm determined to keep the head strength of my hand up. So, you know, a while ago I thought, hang on a minute, I couldn't open things, and I was using a jar opener. It's like, hang on a minute, no, I need the strength in my hand. Right, so now a good glove is going in. Great, give it a lovely whisk and make sure that that's really looking really creamy. And now another good glove. and in you go. So, you know, when you know what you're looking for, you could do this in a blender or your food processor and make, you know, a litre of mayonnaise in seconds. Another big glug. Make sure it's all in, okay? And what I'm getting now is a really nice creamy mixture, which just looks like, ooh, what can I say, sort of thickened cream, but it's still very yellow. Now, if you are going, I suggest you don't go for the really, really yellow, gorgeous golden eggs, okay, to make this. Otherwise you end up with an orange mayonnaise, which is just weird, okay? Unless you know what you're talking about. But I think it's, yeah, I think that's just a little bit weird. I mean, actually this oil I'm using here now, this extra virgin rapeseed oil is very yellow, but needs must. You see how generous I'm being with the oil now, and it's just, I'll take you another photo just so you can see what's going on. Oops, there we go. But you know, just, you know, once you've got that first, say 4 teaspoons in going, it's all good. Look at that, another bottle out of the way. Woo! I'm delighted about that. So, and it's really starting to thicken up now. Now I think, what I've got, avocado oil. My God, avocado oil is brilliant, and I've had that. Now that's another green deep oil. This is going to be a very rich mayonnaise. But it's a good idea for me to actually just taste it, because, you know, if all the powerful oils I'm using are just going to be too much, then you can go back to your light olive oil. I think it's a good idea to have that in the cupboard. Ooh, lots of flavour going on there. So that is delicious. Ooh. I'm not going to use much of that avocado oil, and I'm going to go back to delicious. What's that? Oh, that was the cold pressed camelina oil. We'll use that for something else. Go back to some traditional olive oil. Traditional, lovely, rich olive oil. Now this mayonnaise I'm going to be flavouring with garlic and chives, and I was going to say anchovies, but I went to my cupboard and I'm really cross, there are no anchovies in there. What it means is that I'm eating a lot of anchovies, because they always go onto my bill, which is great because that's an oily fish. And one of the smash fish, so good for us. Really important that we eat oily fish 3 times a week, whichever way we can manage it, whether it's a sardine, whether it's a bit of salmon in sushi, whether it's an anchovy and our anchovy mayonnaise, which you're all going to be making. Right, now look at this. This is really lovely and thick now. I'm going to do another photo. I think this will be useful for you. I really want you guys to be making mayonnaise. Look at that. Woo! Really, really lovely. Lovely and thick. Sorry, I think I was looking at the wrong part of the camera, so it probably looked like I was looking over there or something. So keep going until it's really thick. And I'm saying I want you to get it really, really thick, because we're then going to lighten it up with some lemon juice, or you could use lime juice, it would be really delicious. Or lemon and lime juice. And also some water, which will make it go creamy. So, I mean, Hellmann's mayonnaise has got, I think, egg whites in it as well, and that gives it the extra whiteness. That is really thick now, standing up. Now, what you do need to know is that if you make it too thick, really too thick, then that will split it as well. And if you see it just getting oily and solid, this is particularly when you're making it in a machine, when it all happens faster, then you just need to add a little bit of lemon juice or a little bit of water, and it will all come straight back. So I'm just going to add, at this point, some lemon juice and water, and I really hope you guys are going to do this weekend. Once the lemon juice goes in, you're not going to be able to see it because on the camera, but it immediately lightens it up, and that's what would make Hellmann's the whiter. Of course, I've got all these golden oils in, so it's not going to do that for me, and I want some water in there. And then we're going to get the garlic. Yeah, let's splash some water. Oh, it's so nice to have something like this. So this is one of your staples that just to have in the fridge. You know, you make a big wad today. This will happily last in the fridge for weeks. I know officially I should say 3 days, but no, mayonnaise lasts a really long time. It's absolutely fantastic. You keep it in a nice jar, and there we go. Right, okay, so I've got seasonings in. I've got salt in, I've got lemon juice, I've got some water, and I've got all the lovely oils. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in some black pepper. Now typically you would use ground white pepper to keep the mayonnaise looking white if you're making a stock mayonnaise, but I'm not. I want for having a really lovely artisan homemade, and I love to see the black pepper speckles. Okay, but you traditionally wouldn't. You'd never see black pepper in a jar of almonds, would you? Right. Oh my goodness. Zingy and delicious. I've got all the flavours of the oil. Now remember, I use these strong flavoured oils, so it's got extra flavour, but that for me today is perfect. Oh, yum. Oh no, I've just walked over there to find the garlic, because we're going to have a really wonderful garlic mayonnaise, like an aioli. Do you know what an aioli? Aioli is a Spanish garlic mayonnaise. So that is going to be delicious. And also, I've got these wonderful chives in the garden that are growing beautifully. Thanks to the lovely Jekka McVicker telling me that when I asked her why my chives weren't looking as good as hers, she said, when was the last time you sowed a new one? Or when did you sow those chives? She said to me, and I thought, oh, they've been in the ground about 15 years. So I probably got rid of them and grew new ones. And funny enough, they now grow vibrantly beautifully. Now look, there's a lot of garlic going in here. Garlic is medicinally brilliant, antiviral, there are 5 antis: anti-inflammatory, antiseptic, what else? How many other antis do you want this morning? I think that's as many as I can remember. Right, now, while I'm crushing the garlic, I will tell you. So last weekend, well, I've had the most amazing holiday. I've been in Scotland, which is absolutely incredible. All those wonderful people who live in Scotland, and the gorgeous Wendy Rose, and my amazing uncle and aunts who looked after us. Wendy and David, who got their incredible. Do you know what? If you want to go and see this house, pine martens, the most incredible animals, and red squirrels, then you need to go and stay in Wendy and David Rose's barrel cabin, or actually they've got a lovely Airbnb little apartment in Jura. I haven't got the Scottish accent, but they feed them, and you just get daily sightings of this amazing creature, the pine marten. The red squirrels are so cute. We didn't see many red squirrels because we had our dog with us. So, funnily enough, they weren't that keen to come to the front door, but I definitely saw one scampering across. They're so cute. They are so cute. But no, it's really beautiful. What was I going to say? Yes, so I was in Scotland, just wonderful, and then Portugal, and yes, gorgeous time in Portugal. Oh, the sun, and there's Mediterranean. Oh, well, it's actually not quite the Mediterranean when you're there, is it? It's on the Atlantic coast, but just the feel of the sun. Well, we had sun. I could have sunbathed in Scotland. Unbelievable. But I came back with sardines. A real reminder of fresh fish was absolutely amazing. And then also having too much fun. And with my lovely brother-in-law Dermot. And he got very excited, and so did I. And so I drank too much with his very generous hand. And do you know what? You'd think at the age of 57, I would, and what I do, that I would have all the tools to avoid getting caught up in a frantic party chaos alcohol situation, because that's what it was. And I just, it's like, how did I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have a nice time. I didn't want to drink too much, but I did. And firstly, I don't like to do it because I do not like to lose days, and because I haven't been drinking, as you all know, for a very long time. It's taken me all until Wednesday when I went out on a bike ride to actually go, oh goodness, I'm over that now, which is ridiculous. But that's what happens if you don't drink very often. It takes your body a while to sort itself out. And then, for me, it was just like such a reflection on the addictiveness of sugar, and the fact that once you've had some again and you've had some, then actually your body just go, what the heck, and the stop button doesn't kick in. It just doesn't kick in. So it's really so important to consider, if you're on a trajectory to consider everything, your environment, the people you're with, you know, how to do it. Because I did all sorts of things, like, you know, I put water, fizzy water in my wine glass, and I told the waiters that, you know, that's what I wanted. But actually, it still wasn't enough. So I think it's just such a, we've got the lovely summer social season coming off. So if you're wanting to consider, you know, if you're wanting to not drink alcohol, which I really don't want to be doing, then just you need to think about the people you're with and take tools with you. We've got a wonderful wedding, and I know that the mother of the bride, you know, she isn't wanting to drink, and you know, but she wants to look the part. So, you know, it's all those amazing products we've got around now that help us with that, so we don't want to stand like a sore thumb. You know, I've said it again, I can't bear being handed a tumbler with a non-alcoholic drink in it. It's like a statement. I've said it so many times. So I want to have, you know, a champagne glass with a non-alcoholic sparkling wine in it. That's what I would like, so I can feel like I blend in like everybody else. But you know, it's not my part. It's not my event. It's going to be an amazing bit. But, you know, just a reminder, guys, that, you know, these are traps that we're going to come up to. You know, remember that all the soft drinks have got huge amounts of sugar in, so back to your sparkling water with your fancy ice cubes. And, you know, it's really great that, I'm just chopping my lovely chives here. It's really great that people are so much more in tune now. And actually, a friend last night said that she was in Wales at a nice little local restaurant, and she asked for, what did she say? She said she asked for a tonic and lime. That's nice and refreshing. And the waitress came back and gave her what looked like a gin in one of those wonderful goblets with lovely ice cubes, really nice lemon peel, etc., and a straw and whatever. She said, why can't you be treated too? And it just was wonderful to know that, you know, that people are getting it in restaurants and making people who don't drink feel comfortable and welcome, and also, you know, making them feel like they're having a lovely special time too. Okay, so that's the lecture over. Now look at this. So I was going to chop up some anchovies to go in this, and I will in fact go and buy some and get them in later on. But right now I have got here the most luscious mayonnaise, and what I've also got is these gorgeous chive flowers, which I'll be able to use for decorating. Let's dive in. Oh my goodness. That is delightful. That is zingy. More black pepper. Lots of power. The chives are going to come through. Now this is going to sit in the fridge, and the flavour is going to evolve. So remember, when you make things on yourself, flavours do evolve, and that's really nice to do. This would be lovely with some chopped up tomato in it. It's going to be lovely in a bowl. You can dip your potato wedges in it. You can just have it on the side. Remember, because we're using really good quality oils, that it is good for you. It's really a big part of a paleo keto lifestyle, and it's going to give you good fats. It's going to be delicious with avocado. You know, I've got avocados tucked up in my fruit bowl here. Oh, I knew I wanted to say something to you. Now, I've refreshed my memory this week of the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. I'll put the link in the show notes, okay? Really important that we tune in to those fruits and vegetables that are safer to buy, non-organic, and the ones that really aren't. And just a reminder, your broccolis, your spinaches, your red peppers, things that we use all the time, these are the danger zones. These are sprayed with an awful lot of chemicals, herbicides, and so wherever possible, go organic with those. But things like sweet potatoes, avocados, pineapples, they are very, very low on the scale of these herbicides and pesticides. So it's safer to buy those non-organic. So if you're, you know, on a budget, you know, and we're all keeping on things, you know, there is a sliding scale of danger zones. So, oh my goodness, I think that's more than enough. Look, I have got my asparagus here. This is Yorkshire asparagus. Thank you, Ray from Latest. I went and topped up this week. And then a couple of other things I've got out. Just a reminder, we've got all these pollens in the air, and I feel my eyes this week have been slightly irritated. You know, don't panic, don't rub them too much, but make up a mug of chamomile tea, and then you can just have it cooling down, cover it with something, and you just use it to wipe your eyes, and it's really helpful, really, really helpful. And when I was getting all my oils out, I found this lovely packet of fennel seed. Love fennel seed. You know, you can make fennel tea. just with boiling water in a teapot and drink it, and that's really helpful for your gut, calming your gut down. So I think that's more than enough this morning. It's 8:30. The sun is shining. I'm going to be out in the garden today on my allotment, just having a glorious time. I'm going to take Ivy, who's missing Scotland. Yes, missing Scotland down here. She's dog, she's wandering around. Out for a really lovely walk and catch up on the podcast. I've not listened to a podcast for several weeks, it seems now. So my love to you all. I'm Be in the Kitchen. Just welcome to all those new members, and thank you for sharing what your goals are. Many of you just exploring what a Paleo Keto Party looks like. Other you want to just get into it for health benefits. I'm really there for you, and join me. But lastly, to say, my Paleo Keto Party Live, my VIP special event, is now definitely available to purchase on my website, beinthekitchen.co.uk. I'd love you to join in. So there are now just 15 spaces left in my kitchen. We've got plenty of time. It's on Thursday the 10th of October. If you can't get to my kitchen, it's too far away, then there is also, we're going to do a Zoom event, so you'll be able to tune in and join in. And of course, it's at the early bird rate now. So now is the time to grab your chair. I love you. This is the first time I've opened my kitchen for many years, and it's going to be wonderful. So I've got to make sure my veg garden looks good for you all, even if it'll be towards the end of the season at that point. But, do go and have a look, find out what it's all about. It's me and Dr. Sarah Myhill, and I'm actually going to, in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to Dr. Sarah Myhill's farm for 4 days. She's got a wonderful eco-medicine weekend, and I'm demonstrating for her there, and it's going to be wonderful. So I'm going to get really gemmed up, and you never know, I might even jump off her diving board and into her amazing wild swimming pool. If I do, I will record it because it will be mad. Anyway, there we go. Have a fabulous weekend. Lovely that you joined me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.